Hey everybody! Today I'm going to be doing a flip through of my Hobonichi Techo 2019 Cousin Avec edition for July through December of this year. I wanted to do a flip through of just the prep work that I've done before we dive into the actual book itself. It takes a lot of time to get them set up, I found. So I kind of try to spend a lot of June setting up the new one, and same with December setting up the new set. It's worked really well. I did it with my last set as well. But just so this video is not super long, I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I did leave the front cover blank. And this as well. I don't do anything with my yearly spreads right now. In my other edition, which I'll do a flip through of it at some point in the next month in the month of July, I'll probably do the flip through because it'll be ready to go. I'll still be in it because I do one line a days, which I'm going to show you in a minute. So I'll still be a little bit working in it, but it'll be done. I have been using this as a tracker page for days I take off work because my boss can be a little weird sometimes and forget how many days I've been off, or not off would be the case with him. So yeah, I've been using it for that. A good girlfriend of mine and my pen pal, she uses it to track her YouTube posts. So there's a lot of really cool things I've seen done with it. I actually did make my tracker page really pretty this time. I love this honeycomb stencil from Tim Holtz. I've used it a couple times already, and I just love this warm yellow and orange. I love these colors, so this was such a cool way for me to incorporate it in a big way. So I use it as a tracker. Most people use the first set as the tracker and the second set for pre-planning in a way. So just some things that I track 24/7 in every single book are my steps, my power hours, water that I drink, calories, workout, vitamins. Those are always the main things. And then I always leave space at the end to add things monthly that might be fun or silly. Sometimes they're serious. Sometimes they're me overachieving. But that's my tracker page for this second half of the year. I don't really make this super pretty. Maybe I will in the next one. This is the first time I've done the tracker page. I've done it in the past where I've made the washi really big and had to go back and put the months in, which was pretty. I kind of just like having that little separation and border because I'm not tracking, so I can cover that space. I don't know. There's plenty of options to use both of these spaces. I just haven't really found what I wanted to do with it yet. But I just kind of chart people's birthdays when I have new credit scores to look at, because it's just something I'm kind of looking at the moment. Little holidays, fun stuff like that. There's not a lot of pre-planning. So this is what I was talking about with the one line a day. This is the least pretty one I've ever done, to be honest. The other ones have all had like little stickers or fun things. If you go back to my first Hobonichi flip through, it was very pretty. And I was really excited about it because it was my first Hobonichi, so it was definitely extra pretty. But there's something kind of magical about it being all black and white. I might go over it with a stencil at the end, and then I might write just like a little something something down the side. Haven't decided yet. After that, it's normal, like all of my spreads have been, where I do my budget tracking down the side. I do my fitness workouts through here. So I've done it a couple different ways where I've put a plan in there and then highlight it off. I found that for me, it works better if I leave it blank and write in the workouts that I've done so that I don't get confused if I miss a day tracking and I'm like, did I actually work out? Did I not work out? It's just worked out a little bit better to write it in as I go. I actually did a really good job decorating these pages and getting everything in. So I only did the first 3 months. I decorated and planned the first 3 months. The reason being that I do the last, I've learned this trick. I did the last 3 in pencil so that as I approach that end of the year mark, or that halfway point, that quarter point, I guess would be the better way to describe it. Once I reach that quarter point, I can look at everything for the next 3 to 4 months and pre-plan, because I noticed planning it all in pen, I was scratching a lot out these last couple months because things were changing. So it's a little bit easier this way, and this way it's not too pre-planned, and I still have some wiggle room, which is great. And then I will use this January page for the 1 line a day. So it always starts with the 1 line a day and ends with it. I did make a mistake in the Hobonichi that started in January, and I forgot about the December 1 line a day, which now that I've missed some days, I realize I could have just flipped back and like hit the high points and filled it in. But I like what I ended up doing with it anyway. I did kind of a junk journal style page with a cool quote. Again, you'll see that in the flip through when it's done and it's time to go through that. Now, this is a little bit different for me. I did not write anything. I did not pre-plan. Did I? Oh, I think I did one thing in pencil. Any pre-planning that I did in here was in pencil. I did not decorate any pages. So the reason being, it was kind of getting a little bit like Happy Planner at that point, where I was decorating and it was cute and it was great, but it was distracting. So it's easier if I don't decorate my weekly pages and I keep it really simple and I keep it my work platform and my to-do platform, because I've spent this last half, the January through June edition, not really following an hour by hour, and it has been really bad. It's kept me off task. It's let me become really craft happy and go down a black hole of online shopping and randomness that I don't need to be doing instead of working or doing to-dos at my home. So I'm not using my time wisely. So this way I can chart an hour by hour and actually follow it. So that's the moral of this story. So I didn't do anything except for pre-plan in pencil, which is great because I can go back and write it in pen and go from there. And if things change, which they have a want to, I'm good. Now, this is what I was talking about where there's not a lot of paper. So in the other book, it's just these 2 pages, and then I think it goes right into January on this side. But then in the back, there are lots and lots of pages. I think that's going to be fun to fill. I've already got a couple ideas running around in my head, so I'm excited about that. But there's not as much craft room or writing room, and that's what I use these pages for, is to kind of write myself an end of the year letter. So I'll leave these blank. I did decorate the cover page of every month, I think, up until December, because I want to get a new stencil before I do that. But we're going to flip through this, and I'm going to show you guys a lot of the prep pages I've done, what materials I've used, because this will probably be about the only time I'll do it until the end of the year. I learned that I cannot do quarter flips. I've tried so many times, and they would come in late. I've tried to do month by month, and maybe I'll get to a point where I can, but as of right now, it's a no-go. This is a Tim Holtz stencil and the Tim Holtz Distress Ink Weathered Wood, I believe, or it might be Stormy Sky. I think it's Weathered Wood though. And then Tim Holtz butterfly stamps, which I'm obsessed with. Fun facts. I've learned a lot about bleed through. Memento ink seems to be the best and VersaFine. If you are looking for a good ink that won't bleed through, not the black VersaFine, it's like the chalk styles that are really great and don't bleed. This is done with Jane Davenport stamps. This is the solar eclipse. I thought about doing moon stuff ahead of time, and maybe I will. It's a great filler, and it's fun for me to see. And I'm very interested in it. So I like putting the full moons, new moons, and any type of big things like a solar eclipse. I loved this stencil. This is another Tim Holtz stencil. All the stencils that I used were Tim Holtz, just to get ahead of that. And I think all of the ink I used was Distress ink as well. This is Pumice Stone. This is actually Heidi Swap Shine. So I learned some fun facts with this stuff. If you spray too much of it, which we'll get ahead to, if you spray too much of it, it will bleed through to the other page, but in a really pretty way, not in an obnoxious way. It actually turned out really cool. But I would just recommend holding the sprayer back pretty far, taking it outside, and also doing newspaper where you fold it in so it protects this kind of area. If you choose to go that route, and be careful because these kind of stay sticky for a while, so your pages can stick together. So I recommend, if you can, do it outside, not on a windy day, and then let it sit in like a window or something. Or if you have a space indoors where you can do it and spread out, do that too. I had to clean up my whole desk area pretty heavily after playing with it, because I did it on a couple pages and I wanted to try some techniques, so, and different color combos and such. See, that one stuck together. This is that pretty pink. It's a Heidi Shine as well. By prepping these pages, I've learned that it doesn't pigeonhole me really by doing a little bit of color. It's like when I get into the stamping that's very themed, that got really hard to work with, which I made that mistake in my first one. And I think I talked about it then. So this is where I was saying there was like a little bit of bleed through. You can't actually see this. It's just dark. It's like a shadow. And then this stamp was really cool. I thought for the August page, because I can paint her in, and she's got those pretty beach waves, and I thought about writing a quote or something in her hair, you know, because it's that last month of summer. This is more Heidi Shine, and it is great because it does actually shine if you take it out in the light. This is just really poor lighting, to be honest. But the Heidi Shines were really pretty. You just have to be careful with them. That being said, I would not use Dylusions ink. If you do use distress sprays, I would use the metallics. I have not tried the distress oxides yet on this paper. I'm still narrowing down my make or break colors. I think Ice Spruced is definitely going to be in there. But I do want to get some colors to play with because I think they'll be great. These are some Jane Davenport stamps. This is where I was talking about the bleed through. So this doesn't look bad. It's really cool. It's faint. It looks like I sprayed it when really that's what the other side looks like. I kind of wanted a galaxy page, and I might go back with some more gold. But this is definitely going to be an interesting one to put stuff over for sure. I think it might be like around the time of the Celestial event. It may not be. I may just have gotten really excited with the galactic black hole theme. I think I just really heavily did like those early months, because I'll get opportunities later in the year where I'll kind of like have a weekend to myself, or I'll have some time at the office that's really slow, and I'll want to play and create beyond a page, and this lets me have that freedom too. And some of my layouts are simply stickers and ink, so I don't really need the, I think that's the tea dye color actually. I've used frayed burlap. It's just a little too gray for my taste. This just looks a little bit more burlappy. Yeah, I always try to leave myself enough room to go back and create and play. More Jane Davenport stamps. Add hiccup. Oh, this was a really cute page to do. This is with that pumice stone again. I'm going to have to cover that part with like a photo or something, but this is for the October spread. I'll put tons of photos. I'm a huge Halloween nerd, and I had a lot of fun working with the book last year through Halloween, and I actually ended up doing like a doodle painting of me as my costume, which was a retro vampire, which was really fun to actually do. I don't think I do any more in the book up until that point. Yeah, I left myself plenty of playroom. Oh wait, that's not true because I know I did November. November's page turned out really cool. I did like all these warm, pretty brick colors. So I did like fired brick, aged mahogany, and I think tea dye to do this page. It just was all those warm, cozy colors, and I thought about how brick fireplaces just make me think of fall, and all those warm colors or fall colors of leaves, and I just wanted it to be warm. And then I'm definitely going to get a stencil for Christmas, so I left that blank, and now I know there's nothing else. So at the end of last year, I did a page called Best and Worst of 2019, and it was hysterical because it was just so great to flip through the whole Hobonichi and recall stuff from before that because I didn't have the Hobonichi, and actually review it with my boyfriend, and we had a blast like kind of creating the list. And it was very funny because there were stuff that made the list all the way down to like New Year's Eve, which was crazy. It was a worst thing, not a best thing. So I shortened these pages down from the last book. The Project Life spread was 2 pages. And I didn't even get one box checked off. So it sounded pretty practical to just put it on one page, especially knowing I didn't have a lot of paper to work with back here. So I did my Project Life page for all of 2015's spreads that need to get done. And I really want to finish all of them by the end of the year. A lot of them run into each other, so I think it'll be attainable. I just need to be consistent about it and make sure I don't go into a Hobonichi black hole. On the other side, I have my monthly expenses. This page is not as pretty as my last one. I love the watercolors, which were Jane Davenport watercolors, but I used stickers and had it a little bit prettier the last time, but it turned out okay. So I write down my bills, how much they are, when they're due out, and then I even wrote down that it was down $42 from January, which is always good to be going down on that. And then I have goals for the next 6 months, and then just some 2020 brainstorms. This was done with Dylusions paint, which I highly recommend Dylusions paint for a Hobonichi. It dries really fast, it's smooth, it's fantastic. And so I used a couple different colors from her. I used a brayer, and then I used a stencil. The progression, not perfection, is done with, I think it's the Lawn Fawn alphabet set I have, and then just pen. And it's my health tracker page, let's call it that. But it is charting my weight and, measurements. So I put my measurements for July of 2018 and then put my July 2019 numbers right underneath it just to show me how far I've come in a year, which is actually awesome. I've lost a little bit, and that's really great. I'm more active. I'm eating healthier. I'm eating a lot more and a lot of different foods too. So there was a lot that went into that. I don't have one, magic bullet cure. I just started working out more. Like I said, it's been a balance though, because I've definitely eaten more, good and bad. But I definitely feel healthier than I did last year, and that's meant more than anything to me. I don't use my timetable. If this keeps going, like if I choose to like do different challenges and chart them, then I might mirror it on this side and kind of block it. So that I can keep going, because I don't use the timetables. I don't use the graph paper. I haven't thought of anything to use with it yet. I do use my favorite pages, but I only use it in that time frame. I did a simpler resolution page. I used my Distress Metallic inks, and I might go back and like splatter some of the gold on there. I did rework them a little bit because there were already goals like no craft spending that I already blew out. So they're all goals. I think some of them are great things to shoot for that may definitely roll over to 2020. But it's just pretty. It's simple. I like kind of doing my doodle borders and my little celestial washi and just that pretty purple. And that's it. I might use some of these back pages to do as altar pages. I will do a gift list. I will transfer it over. In my last one, which you'll see, I just wrote names so that I could kind of have a small idea. Now that we're going to go into this holiday season half, I'm definitely going to do it. And I try to get a lot of shopping done out of town so that I can bring people really cool stuff back from places that I go. So I'll definitely be on the lookout through the next like couple of months. So a lot of it will be done even before November kicks off. But I'm going to try to have everything purchased and done by Black Friday, so I don't have to deal with any craziness. I don't really keep addresses in here just for the protection of other people. I keep my pen pal's address in there, so I'll transfer it over. And that's it. And that's just usually because I'm at the office when I send her stuff. So I just need it right there. And then that's it. I don't use the personal notes page. Pretty simple. I think I kept this at a pretty decent time. I'm really excited to do the flip through of this last one. It is so pretty and it's got so much heart into it. And I really feel like watching the evolution of a year in Hobonichi and having done it for now a year, it's brought me so much joy. I cannot explain to you in any way, shape, or form what it's done for me. It's kept me organized, which is great. It's allowed me to have everything in one place, from the organizational side, business, home, craft, everything being in one book. On top of that, having a place to vent and journal, a place to create in. It has really been the most wonderful experiment ever. You learn a lot of things about materials that can and cannot be used in it, which is sometimes really frustrating. Like the new Jane Davenport markers look so cool, but they're alcohol based, so I can't use them on the Hobonichi paper, which is really frustrating because I want them. But makes sense for her stuff because it's all water based, so it needs to be protected or be able to go over her product. I digress. I just really want to say that if you're on the fence in any way, shape, or form about getting a Hobonichi, I hope you watch this. I hope it inspires you to get one or be more creative in the one you have, or get some good ideas. But I hope that this video is informational and helpful to whoever watches it, and I hope you enjoy it. Please give me a thumbs up, and if you're new and feel like subscribing, awesome, thank you, I appreciate you. I love being able to have this channel. I wish I could do more with it, but thank you guys for all the love and support. I hope you guys are enjoying your 2019 so far, and I look forward to doing a flip through soon.